I'm Mr. James from Charm City Karate. This is our tip series. Today, what I'm going to do is talk about things that white belts or new students mess up all the time. And I'm not going to talk about nitpicky stuff that doesn't matter, like, oh, they don't tie their belt right, or they forget to bow when they come on the mat, or their hair's parted wrong. I don't care about that stuff. I'm talking about stuff, common errors that I see that's going to make a difference in your martial arts, or even more importantly, make a difference if you have to use it in a fight. All right, so here we go. All right, so I thought I would demonstrate some of these just in case they're not clear when I just say them. First one is coming off your back foot or leaning. Okay, so when you hit something, for instance, you punch a pad or you punch a person, it's important that your weight stays settled. Okay, that way you can move it forward and you can hit things with power and with your mass. What happens though, okay, is with beginners, instead of moving towards what they want to hit with their body, they get to here and they realize that they're out of range, they can't hit it. So they lean. Guys, it's hard to do because I have to do it wrong. So they're out of range and they lean and they pick their back foot up off of this thing. So when the foot comes up off the ground, I'm going to exaggerate a little, okay, but when their foot comes up off the ground, it's usually by like that much. They're losing balance, and they're not really adding mass, because now they're like this, okay? So since it's balanced, the mass doesn't really get to add, see? It doesn't add to the impact, because it's just tipping. It's all having to be balanced. See, if they lean into it to take over the balance, then they're going to fall. To contribute this mass to the weapon and to the attack, since they are balanced, they will have to no longer be balanced and fall into whatever they're hitting. So, as soon as you pick your back foot up, you're no longer being able to contribute your mass to the strike, because you have to be on a point. See, I can't really do anything here. Okay? If I keep this balanced, now I can do something. You need to keep your feet on the floor, and you need to not lean. Your weight needs to stay even. You can shift your weight onto the front foot and brace your back leg, because now you're still balanced and you're still even, and that will allow you to drive with the back hand. But that's totally different ball of fish. Bag of wax. You know what I mean. Okay. Another thing that beginners do is they come up on their toes. Okay, now, this could be because they have a misconception about the whole idea of staying light on your toes, light on your feet, staying on your toes. Staying on your toes actually means keeping your balance and your weight on the balls of your feet. That doesn't mean that you keep your heels off the ground, okay? It's actually kind of tricky. You have to keep, and I don't recommend it until you've been training for a while. You have to keep your knees over the balls of your feet and keep your weight, your balance kind of going through your knees and through the balls of your feet. It's tricky. I wouldn't do it in the beginning, certainly not as a white belt. And you don't want your heels to come up off the ground, because now you're balancing again. Okay? So when you come up this way, instead of your weight going towards the bag, okay, instead of hitting this way, when you come up, a lot of your energy goes this way, and you end up with like a slicing attack. Okay? Oh, so even though you have energy going this way, because you're rising, you get a glancing attack. So at best, your energy is going to end up at a 45-degree angle going through this thing. I don't know if you ever looked at a castle. Castles have a lot of round parts to them. That was so when cannonballs or ballista bolts or catapult rocks would hit them, they would glance off and not do a lot of damage. So what you're doing here by hitting at that goofy angle when you come up on your toes is you're glancing off and you're doing the defense's work for it. You don't want that glancing attack. You want to drive in. Keep your heels down. Keep your weight down. Keep it in your hips. Stay balanced. Okay? Don't come up on your toes. It's really bad. Another problem that I see a lot with white belts is they keep their knees straight. Like, they think a fighting stance is hands up and legs normal. It might have worked like in John L. Sullivan time. Obviously it doesn't work anymore. If you're dealing with anybody that wants to get you on the ground for any reason, either he's just big and stupid and he wants to grab you and take you to the ground because he's going to hold on to you, or he's a skilled grappler or skilled at submissions, or he does judo, or he just watched him a lot of UFC, and your legs are straight, and he gets onto you, you're going down because you can't control your balance well enough. Part of the key to controlling two people's weight and balance is to have your knees bent. Part of the key to keeping your weight centered and balanced is to have your knees bent. You watch football players, guys with the lower center of gravity win. All right? Wrestlers, lower center of gravity wins. Judo, just about all your combat sports, low center of gravity wins. There's a reason for that. Okay? So, keep your knees bent, stay low. All right? It gives you more power. Lower center of gravity is better. Guy's center of gravity is up about here naturally. Okay? So if you stand normal, it's here. At least if you lower your legs, it's here. It's still going to be the same part of your body, just when you bend your legs, you get to drop yours. If he's standing normal, and his is here, you drop your legs, yours is here. Ah, yeah. You're going to win. Okay? Gives you more balance, gives you more control. Keeps you from slipping and falling a lot. All right. Last one is your elbows. You need to know where they are. You need to control them. You get into a fighting stance like this. Looks good for the Diaz brothers. The Diaz brothers are pretty good. I'm not going to mess with them. They've been doing it for a while. You're a beginner in the martial arts. This is not going to work for you. Elbows need to be down. 2 reasons, at least. First, elbows down protects your rib cage. Your liver is right here, your right hand side just below your ribs. You get hit hard in the liver, you will fall down, you will cry like a little girl, and you will hope to God there's a referee to come and stop this fight. If there's not, you'll take a stomping. It's good to have one elbow in front of that. Floating ribs, easily squashed, good to have an elbow in front of that. Elbows in gives you an easy protection for your ribs. Okay? Also allows you to slide an elbow back and protect your kidneys. Okay? Elbows down also gives you a nice firing platform for good punches, palms, and other strikes. Elbows out like this leaves all your torso open and does not give you a good firing platform for strikes. The only thing you can really throw effectively from here is big, loopy punches. This am bad. Don't do this, okay? Elbows need to stay down where you can fire good quality strikes. Okay? And even while you're striking, those elbows need to stay oriented down. That allows you to anchor your strikes into your body weight. Elbows up, not so much. All right? So, those are your main white belt errors, if you will. Keep your feet on the ground. Stay off your toes. Bend your knees. Keep your elbows down and in. If you can do all those things, you'll have eliminated, I don't know, 80% of the white belt mistakes for the first month. Okay? So, take a look at yourself next time you're practicing. Make sure you're not doing any of those things. You'll make your instructor a happy person. Practice. I'll see you in class.